Here we have period schedules. So there are few controls and conditions, but normally we don't use this, but we are going to touch base, hence I would like to show. For example, I hired an employee in this month. Okay, let's say current month. The month is start from 1/1/2023. The month is going to end on 1/31/2023. When I hired an employee between these two dates, let's say I hired this employee on 1/10/2023. Now, there are some conditions. Though you hired an employee on 1/10/2023, you can still allow the employee eligible for this beginning of hire date itself. Or though employee has been assigned here, the employee might be eligible for the plan and deduction after this pay period end date also. Or if you hired an employee in this month, the benefits might be eligible from next month pay period onwards. Okay, so what I'm trying to say here is just remember this pay period. Okay, pay period, current pay period, upcoming pay period, previous pay period. Okay, right. Now go to our enrollment event. So whenever we're implementing workday benefits, okay, mostly we will play around only two tabs here. One is starter wave coverage rules. Of course, loss of coverage also we will use to remove the benefit plans. Levels of change coverage, levels of change currently waiving, levels of new change eligible, exclusive for USM. These three are exclusive for USA, as I mentioned, Affordable Care Act. Okay, Affordable Care Act. So this, as I said, I will provide the document on this part. If you're interested, you can explore. I'm going to touch base starter wave coverage, loss of coverage, or coverage rules in today's session.
Okay, so Cobra will come under this Affordable Care Act, Kiran?
No. Cobra is a different. It's a simple setup. We'll talk about that. Maybe in next session, I will learn one example also. Okay, I will show how to do that. Okay. Okay. First of all, what is this enrollment event rule? This enrollment event rule controls when the plan is effective to the employee, when the deduction should start for the employee. Would you like to allow employee plus dependents or only employee? Would you like to allow only employee without any changes? These are controlled by this enrollment event rules. Okay, there's no proper definition. To make it simple, it will controls when this employee should eligible for, not eligible, effective for this plan, when the deduction should start. This employee need to wait for either in waiting period, all or falls under this coverage enrollment event rules. First, we'll start from here, starter wave coverage. Under starter wave coverage, so we have few things here, but before that, coverage, benefit event, benefit coverage types, you already clear about these two, right now? Or any question?
Yes. No. So these are all like we configure, right? We configure,
exactly.
right?
Okay. Exactly. Yeah. So let's start from here. Waiting period. Some of the events, for example, let's say a customer has a requirement, one or two plans, they're eligible only if the employee has completed 6 months employee hide. Until the employee should not, this plan should not be available to assign to an employee. In such scenario, you can maintain numeric 6, unit should be months. When I maintain this one, what happens? All these event, what are the event? While you assign this plan, they are the events we will use right now.
Yeah.
Any of the event you select, okay, all these coverage related plans, won't be available for the employees who hired from as of this today, plans won't be available to an employee who has not completed 6 months of time period. We are literally overriding the eligibility rules here. Okay, eligibility rules. Eligibility rules say the employee is eligible, but when a client assign, the plan won't be available to assign because employee has not met the criteria. He has not completed 6 months of period. We have such requirements. We will control from here. Okay, this is called waiting period. Sometimes you may have selected waiting periods. Later, you want to bypass. Bypass in sense, so you don't want to continue. A good example, open enrollment. Okay, so you can select the checkbox. When you select this checkbox, you're overriding this waiting period. Workday doesn't look into this waiting period. All these coverage types, with the help of this benefit events, you can assign to employees at any given time. Even if the employee hired today, you can assign the plan right away today. Okay, it doesn't control. So when you unselect it, then only we have this waiting period number is effective. Okay.
Yeah.
Any questions on these three options?
No, it's clear, Kiran.
Okay. Then after here we have coverage begin date. Under that we have multiple options. But let me tell you, man, by default, always on event date. On event date in the sense, I'm assigning a plan to an employee today. I'm assigning a plan to an employee today. Employee should be effective for the plan today itself. I'm assigning plan to the employee tomorrow. The employee is eligible for the plan from tomorrow itself. If I assign the plan to employee yesterday, I was assigned the plan to employee yesterday, employee for yesterday itself. It doesn't look any dates, it look into the on event date whenever you assign the plan. Okay. The first start from here. We don't use in real time, but at high level might be helpful for you. If you select first of the month following event date, first of the month following event date, what is the current date now?
9th of January.
So 9th of January. I'm assigning a plan, okay, either of these coverages to an employee on 9th of January. And if I select this, employee eligible for the plan from 1st Jan itself.
Okay.
It's not today. Employee eligible for 1st Jan itself. Okay. If you have such requirements, select this option. Second, first of the month on or after event date. Okay. In fact, both are same. First of the month means current month first date is January 1st. So on or after event date. Let me give one example. For example, if event falls on the first of the month, then the coverage begin date will be the same as the event date. If the event falls on any date other than the first. So when you select this one, though you assign the plan to an employee effective today, Workday will override the plan is effective from Jan 1st onwards. Got the point? You're assigning plan to an employee today. Workday will override the date to current month first date.
Okay.
Okay. This is first of the month following event date, which means first of the month following event date in the sense. Okay, 1 second. These are like
I know.
I will give one numeric. Okay. We'll take this. Okay, this is called first half of the month, and this is called second half of the month. Okay, now let's see this. First of the month following event date. If I assigning the plan to an employee and effective date 15, okay, effective date 15, by default, plan is effective from first itself, which means the plan is available for the worker 15, but enrollment covered from first itself. Okay. If we select first of the month on or after event date, this one if you choose, what happened? If you assign the plan to an employee on 15th, but automatically the date is adjusted to January 1st itself. By default, it will take, especially in open enrollments, we can see. Okay. Let me hold here. Any questions?
No, like both look similar, right? Not
Both
much different.
Yeah. No. There is a difference. There is a difference. I will tell you.
Okay.
If you go with this option, you have control to select the date.
Okay.
If you go with the option, you don't have any control. By default, January 1st will be populated.
Okay, got it.
That's one of the part.
Yeah.
To be honest, the remaining things, books also we don't have. But first of the month, on or after the letter of event of submission date. Ma'am, please ignore this one. We never.
Yeah.
Trust me, in book also we don't have. This is also we never use. Letter or event submission date. Okay. This normally by default on event date, 100% we will use from this one.
Okay.
On event date means whenever you assign the plan is effective from that date itself. If you assign the plan from February 1st, the plan is eligible for the employee from February 1st only, not prior nor later. Okay. And just now we discussed payroll related. On pay period begin date, after event date. So if we select this option, the coverage for the employee begins first day of the employee pay period following the election date, which means same example putting. Sorry. I'm assigning the plan to an employee. It doesn't look current month. Okay, current month is January. Pay period date means semi-monthly, weekly, bi-weekly. Any date it will falls. Okay. If I select this option, automatically it will look into what is the current employee pay group, pay period in progress. The start date will be selected automatically. For example, again, if I say Jan 1st, it will be the same. So let me make it simple. So you know semi-monthly, right now?
Yes.
1 to 15 days. Assume you're assigning the plan to an employee on 13th or 8th. There is no proration. We select this. It by default look into the employee's pay period begin date. So in the before we are going to discuss, as I showed now in the pay period.
Yeah.
Pay period begin date. Pay period begin date is the first Jan. Okay. But it will look into the payroll data. These are looking into the calendar dates, but these are looking into the payroll pay period data.
Okay.
Okay. And then again, I'm not talking about submission things. The last one is pay period begin on or after event date. Yeah. Sorry, ma'am, no clue for that also.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
At least I can try to provide note.
Same as you mentioned, I think the first one.
Oh, in the real world, no one will use, but Workday has given. But when you ask to our trainer, they won't give answers. Pay period begin on or after event date. Same only again. On pay period begin after event date. Pay period begin on or after event date. Here we have a few more options, which is called deduction started. When the employee should pay. This is when the employee is effective for the plan. This is control when the employee deduction will start. Okay. So here few options we have. Okay. If you ask me by default, Kiran, what we are selecting? On date or on coverage begin date? On coverage begin date in the sense, for example, I said first of the following month, and here I selected on coverage begin date. Now tell me, ma'am, if I select this option, when is, for example, I'm assigning a coverage type to an employee with today's date. So January 1st, the employee is eligible for the plan, correct? Effective for the plan.
Yes, yes.
Similarly, the deduction also starts from on coverage begin date. When is the coverage begins? January 1st, right?
First, yeah.
On event date, this combination we need to select. If you select here also, I mean, combination is not mandatory. Similar to this, on event date means the deduction will start from on event date only. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, technically that should be followed by the same date, right? Nobody will pay like before or after coverage.
Yeah, that is true. But
yeah.
they gave some controls to confuse us. So.
Okay. Think us more, I think. Yeah.
So okay. Even if you can, if someone you have, anyone have benefit book, no, if you refer, you won't get all this data. That's all. Pay period before coverage begin date. Is it irrelevant? It's something like, I'm an enrolling plan today, but my deduction will start from. I'm able to take pay period before coverage begin date. Okay, again same thing here also. So today I'm enrolling the plan. My deduction will start from January 1st itself.
Okay.
No one will be ready for that, right?
Yeah.
No one. Pay period before event date. This is also falling same. I'm assigning the plan today. Pay period start date is prior first. So like that, ma'am. But so if you see 2 pay periods before coverage begin, none of the employees should hold 2 pay groups. It's not allowed, but we can see. But here, please focus on 2 things. To be honest, before I come to session, I explored entire community to give some data. Okay, these 3 only now. First of the month, on or after event date. On coverage begin date, dependent here. On event date is also dependent here. This rest we won't use. Even you can scroll to the existing ones. Global plans, these are all. You cannot see none of the one other than this.
Yeah.
This is a workday sample one. Okay, this is how they give. I'm sorry if I'm confusing it, but focus on most important relevance.
Yeah.
Then after loss of coverage also we have. Okay, loss of coverage means so far we're assigned the plans, right? Sometimes we may also have to waive up the plans, remove the plans from the employees. So when you would like to remove, okay, when do you want to remove the plans to the worker is controlled by the loss of coverage. And one point here we have to remember, when you're working on this, when you're working in loss of coverage, you must map the event, you must map the coverage here. What does it mean? For example, I want to remove a plan for an employee. Again, I need a reason to remove. That is called benefit event. Again, I need a coverage type, which plan I'm removing for the worker, the mapping, plus same concept.
Okay.
Plan should be removed last day of the month. If you select this, I removed the plan today. I initiate the action today, but plan, employee still active to the plan, and plan will be removed from end of this month, 31st onwards.
Yeah.
Okay, 31st onwards. If you go with this option, on pay period begin after event date. Similar. This is quite opposite to this one. Last day of the month in the sense, okay, January 10th, I'm trying to remove the plan, but plan is still active for the worker till end of this month, which means in mid of the year, Workday doesn't let you allow to waive off the plan to an employee. The employee is covered till end of the month. If you go with this option, I assign plan, what is that? Waive off or loss of today, plan will be waived off from effective January 1st itself, not from today's date. End of this month, 1st of the month. If you select this option on the event date, whichever date you have removed, if you would like to remove the plan, that date itself. For example, if I remove plan 10th of December, plan will be removed from 10th of December itself. Not from January 1st, nor from January 31st. And then on the half month. So this is applicable sub period, we will call it as sub period. If you remove the plan for an employee between 1 to 15, if you remove the plan to an employee 1 to 15, okay, in between any date, on 15th itself, plan will be, employee will lose the coverage. If you remove the plan for an employee between 15/31st, employee 15/31st or 16/31st, plan will be waived off from second half of the month, that is 31st. Okay, 31st. First half of the month or second half of the month, based on the calendar. If you select this option, last option, pay period end date. What is pay period end date? Both are same. This is calendar days. This is payroll. It will look into the employee pay period, and end of the month, and end of the pay period, it will be removed. So here, one point here we have to remember. When I say end of the pay period, some employees have weekly payroll. The end of the pay period is 5 days, right? Some employees have semi-monthly. Some employees might be bi-weekly, 14 days. Some employees may be monthly. So whatever the end date is falling in the current pay period, that at that date, the plan will be removed. I'll quickly summarize again. By default, on the event date only we'll select, but let's discuss last day of the month. What is the last day of the month now in the current calendar?
31st.
31st. Which means if you're trying to waive off any plan to an employee with this date, plan will be removed from last day of the month. Automatically date will be adjusted. You don't have any control. Okay.
Okay.
On pay period begin date. What is your current pay period, man? For example, employee is on the payroll of January month payroll. Pay period is January 1st, right?
Yeah.
If you try to remove the plan today, employee plan will remove from 1st itself, which means no prorations is saying, to make it simple. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you select on the event date, means you have a control here, any date, 10, 9, 11, 12, 13, any date you assign, that time it will be removed. On the half of the month, this one will false.
Yeah.
If you trying to waive off the plan on 3rd of June, plan is effective till up to mid of the month, 15th. If you waive off the plan on 11th of the June, plan is effective up to 15th. If you waive off the plan or loss of coverage plan on 16th, plan is effective up to 31st of the month. Okay.
Yeah.
So that is controlled by on the half of the month. Pay period end date. Basically, pay period is, as I said, different pay periods we have. Based on the particular pay periods, end dates, the plan will be waived off from the work time. And by default, we will select this. You can see the examples. So this is only payroll related and pay period end date. So just let me do one thing to give you a clarity. So don't worry about this one. I just want to give you a difference on accessing, but this is part of payroll.
Okay.
Okay, no problem. In the monthly pay period, we are in 2023 first. What is the pay period start date, ma'am? For January 1st, right?
Yeah.
Pay period start date, you can see here.
Yes.
Pay period end date, 31st.
31st. Yeah.
Remember, please.
So here we no need to consider the cutoff dates and all, right?
No,
Yeah. No, right? Yeah.
not. Payroll has to take care of that part.
Okay.
Now you can see, I'm going to the same month. What is the pay period start date, ma'am, for weekly?
Weekly
12/26.
1st of January to, yeah.
12/26. Pay period end date, 1/1/2020. See the difference here. Calendar dates are particularly organized. Pay period dates are not like that. Either you can opt in for calendar days or you have to opt in for payroll related dates. Here you can see the difference, no? Period start date is Jan 1st. Period end date is 8th.
8th. Okay.
Okay. So these dates will be either you can plan will be removed on this date or either plan will be removed on this date, not end of the, entire month. Okay. These are the difference between calendar dates and pay period dates.
Okay. Got it.
It's a kind of a tongue twister. Tough to remember. What is it? Similarly, same deduction coverage also, whatever we have here in the startup, we can see the same thing. On event date, end of the month containing the event date, means end of the month by default 31st Jan. On coverage end date. So whenever the coverage is going to be end, that date we have to propose. On event date, same thing. What are the date you have entered? That date. On coverage end date is controlled by this. For example, last day of the month is select. On coverage end date is select. By default, end of the month, the direction will stop. Okay. On event date, same date. Again, similar thing. Pay period before coverage end date. First of the month of the pay period. Pay period before event date. Again, first of the pay period date can be weekly, semi-monthly. Any questions from here?
No, Kiran.
Except this, everything is not well organized.
Yeah. They have discovered this to make the life complicated, I think. Those many options.
I still, if you ask with the trainer, they'll smile. That's all. Even this grace period number means sometimes whenever we're waiving of the plans, still the coverage may continue for 2 months.
Okay.
In such scenarios, we can give grace period. Our life insurance also we have grace time.
Yeah.
For example, I may require to pay the money by January 31st, but my grace time is till February 15th I can pay. So like that. Okay, and units similarly weekly, monthly, year, etc. And then coverage rules. This is interesting. A second. Here we have to talk about allowed benefit plan changes, defaulting rules. So here we have multiple options again. Can select any plan. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, in fact 21 plans. When you select, the employees can opt in either of these plans. Okay, not limited to one. Okay, you can allow employee to choose more than one. Current plan only, which means whenever you're selecting here, which means you must have only one plan. Okay, you must have only one plan in the coverage step, which means only that plan is allowed, not multiple plans. current plan or option to decrease or increase. This is not applicable in our regular configurations. What does it mean by increase or decreases? Sometimes you want to allow the employees in mid of the year to increase the what do you call the contribution amount or decrease the contribution amount. Then you can select. Remember, when you select this one, it doesn't let you allow to change the dependents, not the employees. Only the values will be changed.
Okay.
What are the amount you are given? That amount only you are able to change. The rest all fields will be freeze. Similarly, current plan or option to increase. So this, if you select, employee can still enroll into the current plan, but employee can increase the contribution in mid of the month. No one will allow these two. The reason is, if you allow these two, auditing, payroll, financing, everything will impact. So you're giving control to employees. You can increase amount whenever you want. You can reduce amount whenever you want. That's why strictly we have calendar, what you call open enrollment. A particular date, once you initiated, you must continue with the same amount. Okay, but still these options are given. Current plan option to waive. So any time, if you would like to allow the employee to waive off the current plan, waive in the sense remove the current plan from the employee. So you can select this option. If you select this, employee in current plan, he can still continue or he can, excuse me, he can still continue or he can exit the plan. Waive is nothing but you can exit the plan. No changes allowed. This we have in initial class, we tested this. Do you remember which scenario?
Yes.
On we will select no changes allowed in only one scenario, that is if your plan is auto enrolled. Okay, if you select the checkbox on the plan level, if you select the checkbox is auto enrolled, then you must select no changes allowed, which means strictly you are giving the plan, strictly you are not allowing the employee to waive off the plan nor select the plan. Okay, no changes are allowed. Only beneficiary changes. If you select this option, beneficiary changes only we are able to perform. We are not allowing the employee to do any changes except beneficiary, adding beneficiaries, removing beneficiaries, okay, or changing the percentage amount to 2 beneficiaries, like that. Then if you select this option only on particular eligibility change, employee hired, employee terminated, employee promoted, a particular eligibility, the plans you can change or you can add one. These are controlled by these features. Allowed benefit plan changes. Do you want me to explain again?
No, it's clear. Only the question I have is like, so we have different plans, right? Some plans can be auto-enrolled and some plans can be like elected by the employee. So how we can define here, because we have to choose only one option here, right?
Yes, ma'am. It depends on the coverage types. I will create multiple coverage types. For example, coverage type A, I will allow 2 plans. Coverage type B, strictly only 1 plan. Coverage type C, no changes allowed. It's completely based on how you configure the enrollment events and coverage types. Then you need to select. Okay, let me help you. If you select, can select any plan, any of the plans can be selected, right? If you select current plan only, I must select only 1 plan here, not multiple. Okay, only 1 plan is allowed. If you select current plan option to increase or decrease, all these plans employees, here we should have only 1 plan when you select current, and that current plan amount can be increased or reduced. Only that field will be enabled.